Hope, as always, that this is finding you well. And as your day has begun, I'm sorry we're a little later than usual, but as your day has begun, I hope that we can encourage you with some scripture. If you hear some background noise, a few weeks ago we dove into the world of cats, and so we have two felines, two brothers living in our house now, and I have tried every way in the world to make them go in the other room and play this morning, but it's just not working. So if you hear some background noise, there are two kitties playing. Anyhow, this morning, yesterday morning, I started the week off with a passage of scripture encouraging you that God has not forgotten his promises and not forgotten his promises to you, and try to remind you, I know we go through a lot of melancholy and a lot of tough times. At the end of the year, every year, we look back on the year and we review and we look at all the negative things that have happened. It is seldom that we get to the end of the year and we celebrate all the good things that happened. And I've been trying to do this with my family. We started last year and we began writing things down and talking about them. It's very easy to become negative. It's very easy to be burdened and laden with all of that didn't go right. And so we're trying hard to do these things. But this morning and in the next couple mornings, I'm going to try to keep your attention on the next few days. Now, New Year's rolling around, and we all love to celebrate the turning of the year or the calendar. And sometimes it's something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If we changed our geographic location, then that would change the new year for us. But I do understand that we need definite start and stop times in our mind. And having understood that gives us time frames and helps us create goals and things of that nature. And so along those lines this morning, I just want to encourage you, there's a few days left in this year. This year is not over yet, and there's a few days to go, and many of you are looking to January 1. You're looking to January 1 so you can start your maybe your physical diet. You said, maybe on January 1 you're going to cut out the carbs, you're going to cut out the gluten, or you're going to stop drinking the sodas, and you're looking to January 1. You're on January 3rd, we're going to, or 2nd, I'm going to start going to church on a regular basis. That's the first Sunday of the year. We always look to the new year for these things. Well, in the book of Hebrews chapter 3, very quickly this morning. Now, the writer of Hebrews here is reviewing how there was a whole generation that died off and didn't get to go see that promise that we talked about yesterday. They were an unbelieving generation, and all they could do was look back. It seemed like that's all they did was look back. They looked back into Egypt, and they looked back to what they had, and they could not look forward, and they could not look at today. And they stood at the very door of the promise, and they gave up. And so in the book of Hebrews chapter 3, I don't have time to read the whole thing, but in verse 13, we find this encouragement from me to you. So as there was a review of history, he said, don't be like this generation. And in verse 13, he says, but exhort one another daily while it is yet called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Exhort, that's to encourage, entreat, pray, beseech. That's to kind of build them up and say, hey, you know what? You don't have to live for January 1. You can live for today, December 28th. You can live for today. There are things you can do today. You can encourage one another today. And maybe your diet doesn't start till January 1, or maybe your scripture reading plan doesn't start till January 1, but you can read scripture today. You can pray today. You can encourage one another today. You can help somebody today. You don't have to wait till January 1. So there's today. Let's not let today pass us by. I love to quote, and I think I've brought you devotions before on the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5. Christ is giving this sermon, and he says, listen, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough worry for itself. He says, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. He said, there's enough for you to worry about tomorrow. Let's focus on today. And let's live in today. Let's not live in tomorrow. Let's not live in the past. Let's live in today. We can learn from the past. We can be in anticipation of things in the future, but let's live for today. All right. So let's get up. Let's encourage somebody today. I'm not worried about your resolutions. You do what you want to with your resolutions, but hey, let's move forward today doing something for the Lord. Let's not wait till January 1. Let's get going today, all right? Well, Hebrews chapter 3, you can go back and read that yourself and be encouraged by it. And I pray that you have a wonderful day. I pray that God blesses you abundantly. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.